Welcome to the end of day review for Tuesday the 5th of March 2024. There was one red folder news event that was negative for the USD and supported the longs of GBPUSD. So having said that, let's jump into the charts and understand what had happened. So from a daily perspective, we can see that we had two consecutive bullish candles, and today was a third bullish candle. But in terms of actual daily buyers for the day, there were two candles and not three at the time, so we didn't really have any reason to believe that the daily buyers will influence our direction, and for that reason we focused on the 4H and the higher time frame narrative to understand which direction to trade in. From a 4H order flow, from a 4H market structure, like I've been saying for quite some time now, is that market structure is bearish. And then from a 4H order flow perspective, we understand that the pullback leg was extended last week Friday, and that justified why the pullback phase last point of supply was validated right here. And then since then we also had the pro trend primary leg OB being validated as a result of the week of this pullback last point of supply, because we are reacting to a pro trend extreme OB right here. Because of that, we have two legs currently at play, one being the pullback leg, which is this leg right here, and the other being the pro trend primary leg. Although the pro trend primary OB had failed, we're still in this pro trend primary leg and thus have reasons to short, with the ultimate objective of reaching this 4H swing low. From a counter trend perspective, we have reacted to the last point of supply and created this leg with the objective of reaching this swing high right here. However, coming into the day, we've essentially taken out all the internal range to the left, and thus in order to validate further longs we needed to validate additional IRL, and that meant focusing on the current day. Moving on to the 5-minute, what you can see is from the London outlook, what I mentioned is that we're waiting for the Asia low to be taken out and then for Frankfurt low of the day to be validated, and that is precisely what happened, and it happened in an ideal sense because the current day Asia high was still left unliquidated, and that gave us additional confluence to believe why price would move to the upside eventually. What you can then see is that the Frankfurt range was then wicked by London, and at the same time it changed character, which then validated why the Frankfurt low of the day is likely to hold, and as such I put this entry on, taking into account a spread as well as a slight consideration for the chance that the Frankfurt low of the day may be wicked. In addition to that, I found myself questioning myself a little bit as to whether this London low of the day warrants a faster break even rather than my usual trade plan rules, and I concluded that under my hindsight testing or data gathering phases, this isn't something I would have considered, and as long as the original idea is not stopped out, we can assume it will hold. And additionally, that means that we have three options under the original idea when this trade was triggered. Either we're going to take a loss, a break even, or a win, and that doesn't change once this level is wicked, because if it's wicked, it's either going to be that it's grabbing liquidity or it's going to stop us out. Because we have available current day Asia liquidity, my break-even protocol is such that I'd wait for this liquidity to be taken and then I will break even, because per my testing what I found is that actually price is likely to interact with your entry multiple times, and you'll likely end up taking an unnecessary break even and missing the win. And that's precisely what had happened. Had I break even right here under the usual protocol, I would have taken a break even, then I would have waited for a break of structure right here, at which point it's unlikely that I would have entered again right here. Anyway, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have, but that was just something that I found myself questioning a bit, so I addressed that in the day, and then obviously I broke even right here, and then it was a question of like I said, the target is this. We did build new IRL and we validated it because of the Frankfurt low of the validation. So at this point all the IRL was taken, and the target being this 4H unconfirmed lower high point right here, and that's purely because we're trading against the pro trend extreme, and once we pass this barrier, past this point, we're interacting with a barrier that might give a sharp reaction, and not follow through. So for that reason, that was my target, and as you can see, that was a 1 to 4 achieved. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of day. At which point, it's 5 p.m. my time, an hour before the end of my trading session. The news came out and it was negative, which was fantastic because it agreed with my underlying trade narrative. And so I actually took this full TP trade, which was good after quite a dry January and February. So having said all of that, that's pretty much the end of day review, and we'll chat again for the London outlook.